Pied Piper of Hamelin. Many years ago, in the prosperous city of Hamelin, something very strange happened. One morning, when all the inhabitants left their houses, they found the streets full of miles and miles of rats. They were everywhere, and they greedily devoured all the grains that filled the barns and the food from their well-stocked pantries. No one could understand how something like this could have happened. What was worse was that no one knew how to stop it. Each time when the citizens of Hamelin tried to get rid of the rats, or at least scare them away, they ended up attracting more rats into the city. There were so many rats that day after day they began to rule the streets and creep into the houses. There were so many rats that even the cats became frightened. Seeing their riches were in danger, the Hamelin town leaders held an emergency meeting due to the grave nature of the situation. At the meeting, they announced, "We will reward 100 golden shillings to whoever can free us of these rats." Soon thereafter, a tall, aloof piper presented himself before the leaders of the town. No one in the town had ever seen this unexpressive man before. He sat in front of them and said with confidence, "The reward shall be mine. By nightfall, there will be no more rats left in Hamelin." After saying this, the piper started walking through the streets and playing his flute. He played such a lovely melody on his flute that the rats could not help but follow him. And just like that, all of the rats came out of their hiding places, spellbound by the beautiful music of the piper. And so, as the piper continued walking and playing, he took the rats to a place so far away they could no longer see the walls of the city, even if they tried. In this place, far from the city, there was a river, and when the piper crossed the river, the rats tried to follow him. But as the rats tried to cross the river, the water was so strong that it washed them all away downstream. Now that the people of Hamelin were free of the greedy gang of rats, they were finally able to breathe easy again. Everything had returned to normal, and the people got back to their prosperous businesses. Everyone was so happy that they organized a great big party to celebrate the happy outcome. They had a feast that fed the whole city, and they danced all night long. The next morning, the piper presented himself to the leaders of the town and asked for his 100-shilling reward. The only problem was that now, since the city of Hamelin was freed of its rat problem, and the people were blinded by their greed, they told the piper, "Be gone from our city. Do you really think we would pay you all that money for doing something as small as playing the flute?" After saying that, the pompous leaders of Hamelin turned their backs on the piper, roaring with laughter. The piper was furious at the greedy and ungrateful Hamelin leaders, so just as he had done the day before, he started down the streets, playing a lovely melody on his flute. This time, it was not the rats that followed the tall piper. This day, All of the children in the city were drawn to the enchanting sounds of his flute. One by one, the children came out and followed close behind the strange musician. The piper took the children far, far away. So far away that no one had any idea as to where they could have gone. The children, just like the rats, were never to be seen again in the city of Hamelin. The only inhabitants left in the city were its grown-ups and leaders, with their well-filled barns and their fully stocked pantries. They were protected by solid walls and a huge blanket of silence. And this